Myth versus fact. A popular myth suggests that Stonehenge, with its colossal stones, was constructed by wizards or perhaps even giants with supernatural strength. This fantastical notion has captured imaginations for centuries, painting a picture of magic and mystery on the Salisbury plain. The fact, however, is grounded in human ingenuity and perseverance. Stonehenge was built by real people, ordinary communities of farmers and herders who lived thousands of years ago. They used simple tools, sophisticated knowledge, and immense collaborative effort to create this enduring monument. The real story isn't about magic. It's about the extraordinary capabilities of our ancestors, a testament to their skill, determination, and shared vision. This incredible structure, located in Wiltshire, England, wasn't built in a single burst of activity, but evolved over a vast period of time. Its story begins around 5,000 years ago, with the creation of an early circular earthwork ditch and bank. The iconic stone circle that we recognize today came much later, with the massive sarsen stones being erected around 2500 BCE, roughly 4,500 years ago. This long timeline shows that Stonehenge was not the project of one generation, but a sacred landscape that was returned to, adapted, and added to by successive generations. Each phase of construction tells a different part of the story, revealing the shifting beliefs and capabilities of the people who held this place as central to their world. The stones themselves are a fundamental part of the mystery, not because of how they were raised by giants, but because of where they came from. The monument is comprised of two primary types of stone. The larger, more famous uprights and lintels are sarsen stones, a type of local sandstone. But the smaller blue stones, which form an inner circle and horseshoe, have a much more dramatic origin story. The construction of Stonehenge was an immense logistical challenge that unfolded in several distinct phases, each requiring meticulous planning and a tremendous amount of manual labor. The first step was quarrying and transporting the stones. The colossal sarsen stones, some weighing over 40 tons, were sourced from the Marlborough Downs, about 20 miles north of the site. Archaeologists believe these were moved using a combination of brute force and simple machines. Hundreds of people would have worked together, hauling the stones on wooden sledges that may have been lubricated with water or grease. These sledges were likely pulled over a path of logs, acting as rollers to reduce friction, a slow and arduous process that required incredible coordination and collective will. The journey of the bluestones was even more astonishing, originating from the Preseli Hills in West Wales, weighing between 2 and 5 tons each, traveled an incredible distance of over 150 miles, likely via a combination of overland transport and water transport. Dragged on sledges to the coast, loaded onto rafts or boats, navigated along the shoreline and up rivers like the Avon. Perilous and lengthy, this journey demonstrates the profound importance these specific stones held, imbued with ancestral or magical significance worth the monumental effort. Once the stones arrived at Salisbury Plain, the process of shaping and erecting them began. The builders were skilled stonemasons, using hard hammer stones, likely flint or sarsen mauls. They shaped them into relatively uniform rectangular blocks and even carved sophisticated joints, such as mortise and tenon, to lock the horizontal lintels atop the uprights. This craftsmanship is more akin to woodworking than simple rock piling, showing a deep understanding of structural engineering. The surfaces of the stones were smoothed by grinding them with other stones, a finishing touch revealing dedication to aesthetic detail. To erect the massive uprights, workers dug enormous pits with one side sloped to act as a ramp. The stone was slid or levered into the hole, and with ropes, wooden A-frames, and sheer manpower, pulled into a vertical position. The pit was then backfilled with rubble to secure the stone's base. To place the lintels on top, builders likely constructed enormous timber platforms or raised an earthen ramp with wood, hauling the lintel up and carefully maneuvering it into place. We may never know the individual names of the people who built Stonehenge, but archaeological evidence gives us a remarkably clear picture of who they were as a collective. These were not slaves forced into labor by a tyrannical king. Instead, they were Neolithic farmers, Bronze Age farmers, herders, people who lived in organized communities and shared a common cultural and spiritual purpose. Excavations at Durrington Walls, a large settlement just 2 miles from Stonehenge, revealed hundreds of house remains dating to when the sarsen circle was being built. This was not a permanent city, but a temporary settlement where the builders and their families lived while working on the monument. Archaeologists unearthed vast quantities of animal bones, particularly pigs, suggesting workers were well fed, participating in great feasts as part of communal labor. Analysis shows slaughter at specific ages, indicating organized celebrations coinciding with construction phases or seasonal festivals. We also find pottery, flint tools, and other domestic artifacts painting a picture of a bustling community gathering from across Britain to participate in this shared, sacred project. Isotopic analysis reveals that people buried at Stonehenge came from across the British Isles, Wales, Scotland, the far north of England. Stonehenge was a monument of national importance, perhaps a pilgrimage site unifying different tribal groups. For a long time, the dominant theory was that Stonehenge was primarily a temple for Druidic rituals, but science has shown it was built more than 1,000 years before the Druids. Its true purpose was far more complex and multifaceted. The earliest phase, the circular earthwork, served as a cremation cemetery. The Aubrey holes revealed cremated remains of at least 60 individuals, men, women, and children. As stones were added, it became an astronomical observatory. The main axis aligns with the summer solstice sunrise and winter solstice sunset, with key stones such as the heel stone marking the events. While Stonehenge was a place for the dead, nearby Durrington Walls was its counterpart, a place for the living, linked by avenues and the river within a vast ritual landscape. People may have processed from perishable wood to eternal stone, reflecting a belief in cycles of life, death, and regeneration. Ultimately, Stonehenge symbolized unity and identity, an architectural declaration to the world, and perhaps to the gods, of the builder's place in the universe. To truly understand Stonehenge, imagine a young man 4,500 years ago, traveling with his family from the coast of Wales. For generations, his ancestors revered the blue stones of the Preseli Hills, believing they held healing powers and the spirits of the ancestors. Now he joins the expedition to move a sacred stone, pulling a sledge over rolling hills, watching nervously as it's loaded onto a hide-covered boat and crosses the sea. He feels fear, exhaustion, and immense pride. Imagine a family in a wooden daub house during the midwinter festival, the air thick with hearth smoke and roasting pork, music from bone flutes, the rhythm of drums, the voices of hundreds. The father has spent weeks hauling ropes and digging pits. At dusk, the community prepares for a torchlit procession to honor the ancestors. They witness the sunset in perfect alignment with the ancient stones. The story of Stonehenge is not static. It is constantly being updated by new discoveries, and in the last 2 decades our understanding has been revolutionized by advanced technology and landscape surveys. In 2009, Blue Stonehenge was discovered at the end of the avenue by the River Avon, once a circle of about 25 blue stones, a stopping point in ritual journeys. Later dismantled, the stones were likely incorporated into Stonehenge, showing an actively modified sacred landscape. The Stonehenge Hidden Landscapes project used ground-penetrating radar and magnetometry to map the area in unprecedented detail, revealing dozens of burial mounds, pits, and processional pathways. A vast row near Durrington Walls, once thought stones, later large post holes, still points to a complex ritual complex. A 2018 study of cremated remains from the Aubrey holes showed at least 10 individuals came from Western Britain near the Bluestone source, proving people moved between these regions. The Amesbury archer, buried around 2300 BCE with exceptional grave goods, grew up in the Alps, showing Stonehenge's international reach by the Bronze Age. Artifacts and burials reveal long-distance links, enriching the human story behind the stones. Myths are powerful, but science provides a clearer truth. Stonehenge was already ancient by the time Druids emerged, long after its main construction phases. Another myth says aliens built it. Yet the site is full of human evidence: stone mauls shaping sarsens, antler picks digging, grooves and joints carved with simple tools. A third myth claims it was a slaughterhouse. But burials are reverent. Great feasts involved animals, not people. Stonehenge functioned as a cemetery, a calendar, and a communal gathering place. Perhaps most of all, it was not isolated. Modern archaeology reveals a bustling sacred landscape of monuments, settlements, and burial grounds. Woodhenge, Blue Stonehenge, the Cursus, and hundreds of barrows. Understanding Stonehenge means seeing it as the centerpiece of a larger interconnected world. Zoom out to witness a landscape teeming with life, ritual, and activity. Today, Stonehenge is more than an archaeological site. It is a global icon, a symbol of deep history and enduring mystery. Over 1 million visitors each year, from every corner of the world, make the pilgrimage to stand before these stones, often in profound reflection. For some, it remains a living spiritual center. The solstices, especially summer sunrise, draw thousands to witness the spectacular alignment. These modern gatherings continue the tradition of community and celestial observation. It is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, a powerful educational resource and engine of scientific inquiry. From remote sensing to ancient DNA and isotopic studies, each discovery adds to the story and refines how we understand the past. Stonehenge functions as a vast outdoor laboratory where new theories and technologies are tested, ensuring its secrets continue to unfold. The story of Stonehenge, once shrouded in myths of magic and giants, has become a profoundly human one. We now see organized communities with deep knowledge and skill, farmers, traders, engineers, who aligned stone with the heavens and created a place for both dead and living. Recent discoveries show a vast ritual complex and network spanning Britain and Europe. Its purpose was many things: a cemetery, a calendar, a temple, and a symbol of unity, its meaning growing with each generation. Though we've learned much, the work continues, each excavation and analysis adding pieces to the puzzle. The stones still hold many secrets, a testament to the human need to create meaning, connect with ancestors, and understand our place in the universe. These stones were raised by human hands, pulled by human muscle, guided by human ingenuity. When we look at Stonehenge, we see collaboration, belief, and the desire to build something that lasts forever.